Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode we're going to be fitting LOF's POWERspec Brake upgrade, which means we're going to be switching to vented discs and brand new calipers. Now in the kit from LOF you get obviously an upgraded brake disc. Now this is coated. I'll do all the details below because there's a lot of information to remember about this and I can't remember it all, but they are obviously vented, they're dimpled and they've got grooves. Now our 90 pickup's just been used to trundling around fields in Wales for most of its life, and it's going to be a bit of a shock to the system when we start tearing around with the stage 2 remap and intercooler and air intake system and full flowing exhaust, 3-inch exhaust on there. We're going to get a lot more power, and that means we need to be responsible and have a lot more braking ability. So that is where the discs come in handy. In the kit you also get the correct pads, which have got anti-rattle shields on the back. The nice thing about these is they don't require much bedding in. They're ready to rock pretty much as soon as you put them on. You also get a rebuild kit because obviously we're going to be taking everything apart. So we've got new gaskets, we've got new collars, we have got new bearings, but I don't think we're going to be fitting those. So we're going to be doing as much as we can while we're in there. And we're also going to be upgrading to vented compatible calipers. So our vehicle, being sort of quite a budget sort of farm vehicle, didn't come with calipers suitable for vented discs. So this is a big upgrade. And on top of that, we're also going to be fitting some of these Terra Firma braided brake hoses that are made by Goodrich. So that the whole thing should make such a massive difference. Now as far as the rear brakes go, we haven't thought about that just yet. I'm just going to get the front brakes done in this episode, get it all stripped down and get it rebuilt. Now one of the key parts to this, which is going to get a massive amount of haters, I know, but I've never been a painted caliper guy, certainly not on a Land Rover, but we are making a statement with this vehicle, so it is to show what you can do and what we supply, so it's got to be noticed. Because we are changing the colour on the Defender, we're going to a grey, we want to sort of complement that with coloured calipers. Now the only colour that's on there at the moment that's not grey or black is yellow, so these calipers are going to be painted yellow. Now we've ordered some proper paint, and again I'll put a link in the description below where we got our paint from. So we're not going to be spray painting them, we're going to be painting with a brush, so it's definitely something you guys could consider doing. And I'm just going to do a rough mask up. Now I'm not painting the whole caliper, that would be ridiculous. I'm only going to be painting the outside face, and that's going to make my job a lot easier, and I think that will just be enough to make it look really nice. Right, so I've just masked off the half of the caliper that don't want to get painted, so I'm going to be painting this front piece here. Okay, so we are going for our second coat this morning. So we are 3 coats in now, and I'd say that one is the better of the two. It's getting a nice shine onto it. This one, unfortunately, it's not taken in that area there. I kept trying to put more and more paint on, but I must have not degreased it enough, and it's a little bit thin just around that whole area. So degreasing these, even if they're brand new, is so important, because I think I could have got a better job if I just degreased them a bit better. But I'm fairly happy, and they are going to be tucked away, and we're just looking for a little bit of detail in there. So we're going to have to leave those for a whole day before they're dry enough to handle. So let me just run through what we're going to be doing. Firstly, we're going to be removing the drive flange and the caliper, and then we're going to be removing our brake line here. Now we're also replacing the rigid line as well. Then we have to remove our mount on the back here so we can get our caliper off. Then once the caliper's off, all the brake lines are free, we've got our drive flange removed, we'll get the circlip off, and then we'll try and remove the hub nut, which we struggled with on the last one really badly. If that comes off, we can just slide the whole assembly out, And as I said before, we're not replacing any bearings or anything because they're all fine. We're just going to be taking the disc off the hub and then reassembling everything. So that's pretty much it. It's not a tricky job, it's just methodical, and obviously you're gonna, it doesn't matter what age your Defender is, you're gonna have a struggle with some of these bits and pieces. So like a wire brush on some of these fixings before you go at them, some WD-40 is gonna help. So I'll get stuck in and then see what you think. So this did work quite well last time. I just got a bit of hose, put a knot in it, and then stretched it across. Lift up the union and slide it straight onto the pipe. Okay. So our little bracket here is slotted into the brake shield. There we go. So I've got the little bracket off that supports the brake lines. Then that gives me better access to the bolt for the caliper. Here's the other one, and then our caliper should just release off. There we go. So we've got a circlip on here, and there should be at least one, if not two, spacers. There's a circlip. And two shims. So this should now come off. There we go. Okay, so we had to use the gun again to get this off. That was just impossible. So this should now, with a pull, just all come off. Go. So we've got it off, just need to make sure it doesn't all fall apart. So I'm going to put that cloth on there. Try and keep all the internals there. And then we just got to undo these bolts. Yeah, these are a 14. There we go. Unlike traditional discs, these haven't been oiled. So now I don't push it all the way down first. So I've got them all started by hand, so I'll just push this down in place and do them up, not too tight. So we're now ready to put that back on again. Okay. So now we've got this ring on, we need to lock it into position. So there's a flat point on the drive shaft there. These paper gaskets, man, they're so fragile. So we've got our two shims to put back on. You can see that our drive shaft is recessed. We'll give that a little tug. Pop our shims in place. There we go. And we're clipped in. So, with our cap back on, we're now ready to fit the caliper. Okay, so we've got our caliper in place and we're now going to put the pads in and our pins. And then we've got our split pins. We need to get this put back. And this piece here just slides into this slot on your disc shield, brake shield. Okay, so now all we've got left is to put our brake pipe on. So I'm going to attach it at the caliper end first, before I then attach our blocked off brake line so we don't get fluid everywhere. These are in pretty much 90% the right shape, but you might have to just, you know, twist them and move them around a little bit to get them to settle. And you need to make sure that you only start them finger tight, so you're not crossing any threads. So I'm in at the top, and my angle's slightly off at the bottom, so just have to bend that up a bit. There we go. Oh, that's gone straight in, lovely. So yeah, just a little twist, and that helps. To keep the cable from twisting on itself and moving around, just hold that with a 17 as you do the last few turns. I'm going to pull that off there, get it in before the fluid goes everywhere. She's straight in, look, brilliant. There we go. So the bleed nipple here is at the top. So just going to release that a touch. Now it's at the top so the air can release. I'm going to push this on. Okay. Now that's open, so if we top up now, we should be able to pull some through. So let's get the wheel on. I'm already loving it. Wow. Okay. Well guys, that's the end of the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure all of you have got your own thoughts about yellow calipers on Defenders. I know exactly where you're coming from, but I just wish and want you guys to hang in there until we get the whole project finished, because I think then when you see the vision that I've got for the actual truck itself, I think you'll understand where I've come from, and then you can tell me if you hate it or if you don't hate it. But I don't hate them. I think they actually look pretty cool. I'm really pleased with the wheels. I'm going to get this on the road test in the next few days and I'll report back to you then. But my initial thoughts are these things are absolutely immense. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, do click the button and I'll catch you on the next one.